You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Mabel Mora, she's in a funk. Her podcast buddies are too busy to hang. She's got to get out of her aunt's apartment and meet new people. Like Donna, and Cliff, and Kimber, and Loretta, and K.T, and Ty, and Bobo, and Dickie, and Tobert, and oh my lord, so many new people. What are your first impressions of these new characters? Do any of them give off a killer impression? On first impression, Ben Glenroy died on stage at the Gooseberry Theater, but you can't always trust your first impression.
Let's solve Only Murders in the Building. Season 3, Episode 1, The Show Must. After Ben Glenroy's collapse on stage, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel piece together the show's first days with a suspicious cast and crew to determine if foul play was involved. We'll be breaking down each episode for clues, suspects, and red herrings on the hunt to learn who killed Ben Glenroy.
The first time he died, like who killed him then? We'll probably also want to solve who killed Ben the second time he died. Is he still dead? He is? Okay, good. Let's solve that.
Plus, maybe somebody other than Jan poisoned Winnie the dog. At this point, let's forget it. Spoilers for the first 2 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. If you haven't watched all 20 episodes,
pause this video, hop in a tank to film a commercial for the Michael Dukakis campaign, and then come back.
Use the timestamps below to jump to the topic or suspect you want to hear, and skip past the stuff you don't want to hear. Quick guide to these videos. We're trying to solve who killed Ben. Now in Season 2, our videos focused on who killed Bunny. And early in the season, it was obvious whomever killed Bunny Folger was someone who knew about the secret passageways in the Arconia. So logically, our videos focused on characters who knew about the secret passageway, like Lucy and Marv, or characters who lived in the Arconia and might have discovered the passageways, like Howard. And then the killer, the killer apparently did know about the secret passageways, but we viewers had no idea how the killer knew about them, so let's just accept that with Only Murders in the Building, we're going to look at all the clues, suspects, and red herrings, but we're also going to have to somehow figure out the who, how, the why, and the why now through outside means as well. So bring everything in. Interviews, outside clues, let's hear them down in the YouTube comments. You may not know this, but currently we're focused on yet another comedy cozy murder mystery, Season 2 of The After Party. And we're breaking down all the clues in there. It's real fun. If you can't get enough of cozy murder mysteries, check out our series of Let's Solve Magpie Murders. It's a real simple show, 6 episodes, lots of clues. You can solve it. It's in our podcast feeds and YouTube videos. They're out there. Just click and search Let's Solve Magpie Murders. If you're listening on a podcast app like Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, subscribe, and leave a written review.
Let's begin how we always begin, with the Double C credit clues. And oh my goodness, R.I.P. Bunny. Bunny's been replaced. She's not walking Mrs. Gambolini. It's Howard walking Sevelin. Holy smokes. Up on the roof of the Arconia, we see stage lights, those footlights. The show must go on. Before we run down the suspects, let's see what the first episode taught us about the victim, actor Ben Glenroy, or as he's known to his friends, CoBro. Not the CoBro, come on, CoBro. Now Ben has moved into the Arconia penthouse. Never a good sign if you want to live or be on the show a long time. And he's not going to complain about his dressing room anymore, okay? He's the lead actor in Death Rattle, a story about a Nova Scotia lighthouse where a murder happens. Ben, not the greatest. He tends to blame his brother for being late to the read-through. He has a strict diet, and cookies are his weakness. If you want to poison Ben, just poison some smackeries. Despite starring in the classic Girl Cop, Ben is older. He needs readers to read the script. And he is cold. He's ready to kick Loretta out of Death Rattle after a bad read-through. But maybe he's not too cold. He gave out opening night gifts to everybody. Handkerchiefs with the Death Rattle logo. Ben survived death, only to die the same day. Terrible luck, Ben. Now, probably the biggest thing we'll want to solve. At the opening night party, he gets a call from someone his brother says he should take. Who? Aren't all the suspects already in that room? Who's not in that room who called Ben or called Dickie? Now let's look at the suspects. And we're going to begin with Loretta Durkin, an actress on her last chance. Loretta's love for the theater began back in 1962. And she's done all the work you need to do to be a New York City actress. She's done the dance training, the ballet training, auditions. But success, it never comes. Loretta claims that her agent got her an audition for the nanny in Death Rattle. But why would she still have an agent if she can't get any roles? Did she actually have an audition? Now, Loretta does have a strong audition, and she does seem to have an emotional connection to the monologue, which is where the character, the nanny, admits they would kill to protect a child, even if the child wasn't born of their own flesh. Does Loretta have a connection to that type of story? Oliver certainly does with his son Will. At the read-through, Ben ignores Charles to go directly to Loretta. Now she's got jitters in the read-through as she drinks from her Bye-Bye Buffalo mug. Is it because she's nervous about the read-through? Nervous about meeting Ben? Nervous because she has romantic feelings towards Oliver? Ben calls her a snake, the cobra to his cobra, and she leaves the opening night party after calling Ben an a-hole. Actress Kimber. Now, we don't know much about her other than she and Ben had a messy relationship. The producers. We have Donna, who is a bit too close to her son and is very quick to say the show is dead. After investing so much money in it, it hasn't even run once, and she's ready to close it. Come on, Donna. Even Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark ran longer than that. Now, it may be nothing, but Donna and her son Cliff hop on the elevator even after Uma says that tenants of the Arconia should get first dibs on the one working elevator. We should talk about Donna's son, Cliff. This is his first solo producing effort, and he must have some strength. He can do this flip. Could he flip over an elevator where maybe Ben couldn't? Ben's assistant/brother, Dickie. Dickie leaves the theater, talking into his phone. He says they pronounced him, but Dickie never says the word dead. Dickie carries specific approved snacks for Ben to eat, and Dickie seems to handle both his phone and Ben's. Tobert. Now, Ben hired Tobert. The main thing we're going to think about Tobert is he's going to have captured something on his camera that'll be a shocking clue when we need to solve this murder, which is now. Actor Ty seems to be consoled after Ben's death by Bobo. What is their relationship? Ty wants to use Ben's trainer. Bobo is also an actor. He consoled Ty, and Bobo always got no-nos. Stage manager K.T. Now, she shed some tears over Ben's first death. Now, I don't think she's the killer, but after her cruel comments to Howard, I can say with quite confidence that she's more evil than Jan and Poppy combined. KT knew about Ben's diet and his mangoes, and Ben even accuses KT of stealing his mangoes. Mangoes, cookies, how did Ben get poisoned and killed the first time? Uma Heller. We love Uma, apartment 3F. She probably isn't the killer. She was on the scene when Ben's body was discovered. Howard Morris. You know we love Howard. He didn't have a great audition. He failed it and had to become Oliver's personal assistant. Who's going to manage the library? You know I love Howard. Spin off his own show, people. #gold. Now, Howard is quick to say it's not Oliver's fault after Ben dies the first time. How would Howard know that? Howard's boyfriend is Jonathan, who's Ben's understudy. Would Howard kill to get his boyfriend a big break? Jonathan, another resident of the Arconia, apartment 3A, he is the understudy, and he's maybe taking his understudy role so slightly, he looked at his phone during the read-through. Lester the doorman. What is going on with these elevators? Did Ursula run off with the money, Lester? Plus, it's Lester's night off. He went to the play. Why is he having to work as a doorman as soon as he gets back in the Arconia? This is ridiculous. Lucy really wasn't in the episode. Has Lucy been Oscared out of the show? Joy. She's happy to spend more time with Charles now that the play might be over. And based on Ben's interaction, or lack of interaction with Joy at the opening night party, Joy may not be the woman that Charles warned Ben to stay away from. The big three. Oliver Putnam. Oliver stands up for Loretta at the read-through. He gives her confidence. This may be more than just a director standing up for the actor they've chosen. Is he head over heels about her? I mean, it was after Ben's first death that Oliver was quick to ask if Loretta was okay. Now, Oliver wouldn't have killed Ben. He needs this play to work. He's so depressed, he's eating bread without any dip. Charles Hayden Savage. Now remember, Charles warned Ben to leave her alone, and I'm not sure after this first episode we know who the her is. Ben insulted Charles, claimed he's old, but Charles is on a winning streak. He and Joy seem to have a tight bond. He knows all about her friends and family. Mabel Mora. Mabel needs her pals. Mabel needs Ollie Mabel. Mabel was a big fan of Ben Glenroy when she was younger, in his girl cop role. Ignoring the murder, what do you think of the remodel that Mabel did to her aunt's apartment? It's awesome, but don't you miss those paintings of the Arconia on the wall? I sure do.
Let's get to your feedback, and with this being episode 1 of season 3, I'm going to feedback that came in at the end of season 2. 671 Sun wrote, I'm stoked for season 3. Hashtag only murders in the theater. Ange in Words wrote, maybe the person who poisoned Ben and Winnie are the same person. Justice for Winnie. I Am Lively wrote, plot twist. What if the killer is Howard's love interest, Jonathan? Jonathan killed Ben because he believed Ben stole the role from him in the play. Miggy wrote, I can't wait to see one of my favorite Avengers in my favorite show for season 3. Well, he did die, but you're going to get to see him, Miggy. Hold on. Sweet Jess wrote, I'm going to put it out there that if Ben is in fact Lucy's stepdad, Lucy poisoned him. Hey, season 3 may contradict some of these predictions from season 2, but they're still fun to hear, and heck, we can't rule anything out yet. Suli Owick, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, wrote, a little theory I have is I think the her that Charles talks about with Ben is Jan, season 1's killer. It makes sense for her to be important for Charles, as Charles has a complicated relationship with her. It also makes sense given that Mabel, Lucy, and Joy are all happy and excited for the play, which doesn't match the seriousness of what Ben did based on Charles's delivery of the line. And finally, Teddy totally called his shot at the end of season 2. Teddy wrote, I feel as if Ben Glenroy died from lead poisoning in his makeup due to how he fell at the opening of the show. And that would mean it was most likely a makeup artist or another cast member who put lead in the makeup, which led to it seeping into his skin. Is Teddy pointing the finger at Joy? What do you guys think? It's only 1 episode down, but who do you think killed Ben Glenroy? Write to us and let us know.